Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and today we're going to take a look at what kind of PC we can build for £800 in the UK. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, it's coming up towards Christmas time here in the UK, and some people are asking, Mike, what can I buy for £800 in the UK at the moment? So if you're looking for new, you're definitely in the right place. So what we're going to do is go into PC Part Picker and go through some of my own selected parts, and feel free to please change, amend, criticise, comment, do whatever you like on my decisions. I'm going to explain the decisions that I've made, and obviously you can put counter decisions or counter offers on what you would decide on, but this is what I would probably buy if I had £800 to buy a PC right now. Okay, so first of all we'll go to PC Part Picker. We're going to use the United Kingdom version of this because I'm in the UK. Obviously, if you're in the US, then you can use the US version and you'll probably find it actually quite a bit cheaper. But anyway, here is my list of components. So the first thing is the CPU. Now the CPU we're going to go for is the Ryzen 5 3600. That at the moment in the UK retails around about £175, which I personally think is a great value for money. I personally have one of these in my video editing machine, and I find it absolutely fine for video editing tasks, gaming, and pretty much everything I want to do with the PC. Now I could spend a little bit more money and go with the 3600X, which at the moment in the UK is about £25 dearer, but really I can probably overclock the CPU if I really wanted to, up to the X levels anyway, with some decent cooling. Now alternatively, you can find some really good deals on the older generation, like the Ryzen 7 2700X, you can get for actually a little bit cheaper, so that offers you a couple more cores and a couple more threads, but it is going to be a little bit older technology wise, and the IPC isn't quite as high. So the 2700 and the 2700X are also really good choices for this particular setup. Again, depending on what you're doing, if it's productivity more so, video editing, then maybe those extra cores, extra threads will be useful to you. But if you're looking for IPC performance or single core performance, then the 3600 is probably going to be your better bet. So moving down now to cooling. So on this instance, I've chosen the Arctic Freezer 34 CPU cooler. Now, as most of you will probably know, I've done reviews on Arctic coolers before, and I've always found them to be really, really good performers. Now, obviously, if you want to save a little bit of money on this, then take the cooler out of the equation. The supplied cooler with the 3600 isn't entirely bad, and it will suitably cool most CPUs and won't cause you any issues, but depending on the case you're using, your airflow requirements and all those kinds of things, you may want to boost that cooling performance. And for the sake of £20 at the moment for the Arctic Freezer 34, it's actually pretty good value for money. You can obviously swap this out if you want to with the Hyper 212 Evo, pretty much same price, about £23 at the moment in the UK, and will give you effectively similar performance. So motherboard wise, now the motherboard is going to be a very divisive thing in this actual setup. Now I've gone with the MSI B450 Tomahawk Max version. Now the Max version allows you to flash back the BIOS, so if you're using newer chips, you can just use a USB stick if you've got access to another PC or laptop, and you can download BIOS or firmware and install it by using the flashback button. So if that is a concern to you for flashing the BIOS for chips, then the B450 Tomahawk is the way to go. Now you can actually use older versions if you wanted to, or even like an X370 board if you can pick one up cheap enough, but for simplicity and compatibility, the MSI B450 Tomahawk Max version is a really good option. Also, it supports up to DDR4133 overclock, so you can reach those higher memory speeds, which Ryzen really does love, especially the new Ryzen 3000 series. Now moving on to memory, I've gone with the Team T-Force Vulcan 16GB. At the moment, it's a really, really crazy market. There's price drops every day pretty much, especially now to run up to Christmas and the January sales and what have you. So again, depending when you're buying this, this could all change completely. Another good option for this would be the Corsair Vengeance LPX. That is a very similar price as well, but again, it's going to be down to your motherboard and checking out what is actually compatible with your motherboard. Now I've actually looked on the MSI website, and the Team T-Force Vulcan 16GB DDR4 3200 is completely compatible, so you can just stick it in, enable XMP in your BIOS, and you're completely good to go. So again, if you're looking for compatibility straight out of the box, you don't want to be messing around with memory timings, all those kinds of things, then the Team Force is possibly the way to go. But again, do check the qualified vendor list and see what memory sticks are compatible with your motherboard when you choose it. So now we're down to storage. Now for this particular build, I've decided to go with two drives. One is a mechanical drive, the 1TB Western Digital Caviar Blue, which is a really good drive and a fantastic price at the moment at just over £30. For a terabyte of mechanical storage is actually really good value for money. This is going to be good for storing games which we're not currently using, or put your entire Steam library or Uplay or whatever it may be, stick your games on there. You're not going to get such fast loading times as you would with a NVMe drive or an SSD, but it's still a really good alternative for storing those large backups. Or if, like me, you're a content creator, or you've got family footage or whatever it is, and you just want some kind of mass storage where you can put footage and you're not particularly bothered about the transfer speeds, then a mechanical drive is still the best way to go, especially when you get pound for performance or pound per storage. Now the main system drive in this is going to be the TCSunBow X3. Now I've actually bought one of these recently. They were on special offer from Amazon. I actually managed to pick one of these up for £60, which is fantastic value for money. At the moment they've gone back up a little bit, but again, do look out for offers. I will be putting affiliate links in the description below so you can check out all these drives, all the prices, and see when price drives are actually really good prices. So at the moment you're looking just over £80 for a 1TB solid state drive. Now this is a 2.5 inch drive, so it does fit into one of the 2.5 inch drive bays in the case. You can, if you wanted to, go for an NVMe or M.2 type drive. You will pay a little bit of a premium for that, but if you do want the simplicity of not having to wire a drive, or you want it to be a little bit smaller and attached to your motherboard, then again, obviously you can change that drive out for a smaller and possibly faster drive. The TCSunBow drives actually do have DRAM cache in them, so they are quite fast drives and they're very good for like read and writes and all that kind of stuff, so you don't have to worry too much about performance. Some of the other drives you can get, like the Western Digital Greens, generally don't have very good cache in, and they do tend to slow down with longer file transfers. So again, depending on what you're doing, depending on how you're using your system, do take that into consideration and maybe consider again a drive which has a cache in it, or some sort of DRAM cache. But for me, this is a perfect balance. So you've got 1TB of mechanical storage, 1TB of SSD storage, so the system's going to be nice and responsive, and also you've got plenty of room for storing other files, other games, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so the next one on the list is your graphics card. Now this game is going to be a very divisive one. You're going to have your AMD lovers, you're going to have your NVIDIA lovers, but regardless, we're going to be concentrating on price to performance. So at the moment, the GTX 1660 Super is really at that kind of sweet spot at the moment on the market. You're getting kind of 1660 Ti performance, but for less money, around the same sort of price, the £200 mark. The other option, AMD wise, really is kind of like your RX 590, which comes in a little bit cheaper, but again, isn't close in terms of performance in most titles. So if it is gaming orientated, the system, then the 1660 Super definitely going to be your way to go. You may want to consider a used graphics card. Again, very divisive subject. Some people would not touch a used graphics card with a very long barge pole, but you can pick up some good bargains. Around about the same sort of price, the £200 mark, you can pick up a used 1070 Ti possibly, which is going to give you more performance, but again, it is slightly risky. You never know how long it's going to last. You don't get a warranty necessarily. So if you're looking for a warranty, you want that brand new out of the box experience, then the GTX 1660 Super is, in my opinion, the way to go. Now, if you can squeeze a little bit more money out of your budget, then it's definitely worth looking at the RX 5700. Now, this is going to take your budget up by about another £100, but you can get something like the Power Color Red Devil version of the 570, and again, that's going to give you another big jump in performance. Now the next one on the list is the case. So I've gone with the InWin 101. Now if you know me well, you'll know that I do love my InWin cases. Now again, around about the £60 to £70 mark, there is a massive amount of competition in the market, tons and tons of choices. Obviously, this is your build, it's your look, do exactly what you like. There are other good options on the market for Fantex, Cooler Master, all those kinds of brands. So if you're looking for something around about the £60 to £70 mark, in my personal opinion, the InWin 101 ticks a lot of boxes. You've got 3 cooling fans on the base to cool your graphics card and keep things nice and cool there. You've got 3 exhaust fans as well. You've also got the attic section where your power supply is, again pulling out hot air. So for me, the InWin 101 chassis is a really good option. It looks really nice in my opinion, excellent filtration, good strong sturdy case, and is going to last you a long time. But again, there's loads of other options on the market, so do have a look, see what suits you. You could, if you wanted to, go for a more budget option, something like one of the GameMax range, GameMax Solar, those kinds of things. There's lots of options available. Or if you want to, spend a little bit of money and get something like the Cooler Master H500 or the Lian Li, something along those lines. Again, it's your build, it's your money, buy what you want. This is just what I would personally go for. Okay, so next up is our power supply. Now again, this is a really, really divisive subject also. PC building is all about that. There's so many people with opinions and preferences and all those kinds of things. Now, I'm going with what I know. I've used a lot of RIOTORO power supplies, various makes and models. The RIOTORO ENIGMA, the G2 650 watt, is a great power supply and is very similar to a very well rated, similarly named product on the market. I'll give you two guesses what that is. But essentially for £60 or under £60 at the moment in the UK, the ENIGMA G2 is a fantastic option. Also, you could go with the Corsair TXM 550 watt. Now that's again another fully modular gold power supply. I would really, if you can, go for a gold rated power supply. Bronzes are okay, silvers are okay, but ideally when you're spending this kind of money on computer components, why take a risk with your power supply? It just isn't worth it. You can get budget models such as the RIOTORO Builder series. The 600 watt of that, you'd be saving probably £20 or so off the price of this build. So again, if money is super tight and you're really trying to stick to a budget and you want to save a little bit, do save a little bit on your power supply if you need to, but don't go too low. Some of the really budget end market things just aren't worth the bother. Don't risk your expensive kit on a cheap power supply. So that pretty much wraps up where we are with it. The only thing I've added extra to this list, which again you could take off if you didn't want to, I've put on a set of Arctic P12 PWM fans. Going back to the case is the InWin 101 and it's got plenty of holes that you can put fans in. So again, for the system we're using, we're not generating a terrific amount of heat. The CPU is only a 65 watt part. The graphics card is super efficient in the way it works. So cooling isn't going to be a major issue in this build, but we've got lots of holes to fill, so why don't we fill them? So I've gone with a set of the Arctic P12 PWM fans. There's 5 in a pack for £27.99 currently in the UK. So under £30 for 5 fans, it's not bad going at all. All of them have PWM sharing, so you can daisy chain the fans if you haven't got enough fan headers, but the motherboard, the MSI Tomahawk, has got plenty of fan headers, so you shouldn't have too many issues at all. But it will certainly simplify wiring when you daisy chain fans. You can just run one PWM controller back to your motherboard. So there we go. If we scroll down to the bottom now, we can see our total at the moment. So at the moment we're at a base total of £818.29, just slightly over our £800 budget. We've got shipping included also, which is £9.46, which takes us to a grand total of £827.75. So again, if we were going to edit this and trying to keep it under that 800 mark, we could take off the fans, take off £27.97, and that will take us to about 3 pence underneath our £800 budget, including the shipping. So this entire system, as I said, Ryzen 5 3600 is a great CPU. You could save again a little bit on the cooler if you want to. The Arctic Freezer 34, just use the stock one. Again, you could take another £20 off of that. Maybe take off the CPU cooler, put that £20 towards the CPU, and then take it to the Ryzen 5 3600X. You're about £5 adrift there, but again, that could be the difference between you upgrading to the next level or not. So again, with everything PC build wise, it is all about giving and taking. So you can take away a little bit from one area, give to another, and improve your performance. Or if you're planning to not upgrade in the very near future, then again, you might want to spend more money on things like your graphics card, your CPU, and your power supply, and maybe you can skimp on some of the other items anyway. But there you go. Let's see what you think about it. Okay, so there's my my position on these parts. Personally, for me, if I was going to put together a system for that kind of money, these are the sort of parts I'd be looking at. Again, I might switch and swap a few bits and pieces over depending on the actual day of purchase, where prices are at. And also, again, you do get some bargains pop up. The choice between the power supplies, between the RIOTORO and the Corsair, again, for a couple of pounds either way. If you're into your named brands, I think Corsair do give you slightly longer warranty, but again, both very good power supplies. Swapping out the CPU and the CPU cooler for an uprated CPU with the stock cooler, again, might be an option and will give you a few more frames per second in your games. But ultimately, it's down to you to make your decision. That's what I would go for. Please let me know in the comments what your suggestions are and what things you would change. Or maybe you want to spend a little bit more on your budget. Let me know what your budgets are, and we'll see if we can come together with another build guide. So I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Oh, and the comment section. Thanks for watching.